So I was honestly just about to go to sleep, but then this happened. These last few days have literally been a roller coaster in the NBA. I mean, first, Kyrie gets traded to the Mavericks, then LeBron breaks the scoring record, then Westbrook gets traded for DAngelo Russell, and then the juggernaut of them all happens. Kevin Durant gets traded to the Phoenix Suns. It's late, guys. It's close to midnight here for me on the West Coast, but let's do it. Alright, so I'm going to start this off with the Kyrie trade to the Mavericks. The trade went like this. Uncle Drew, Markieff Morris for Spencer Dinwiddie, Dorian Finney-Smith, and a couple of draft picks. First things first with this trade. The Mavericks swung for the fences with this trade, and as exciting as it'd be to watch Kyrie and Luka on the same team, I'm going to go ahead and predict that the Mavericks fumbled this one. Yes, Luka was desperate to get a co-star. I mean, more often than not, he'd get his team in the lead, he'd go to the bench, but then when he re-enters the game, his team will be down by like 5 to 10 points. He was frustrated, and so would anyone else be. So I'm sure he voiced his displeasure to Mark Cuban, and as a result, Kyrie is now wearing a Mavericks jersey. Honestly, my thoughts on Kyrie is that he's an amazing basketball talent. He's box office, he's the best ball handler the NBA has ever seen, but does he contribute to winning? That's the main question here. Well, to be honest, here's his resume so far. In his first 3 years in the league, he couldn't get the Cavaliers anywhere close to the playoffs. That changed though when LeBron came, but come on, it was King James in his prime. All elite talents win a chip with LBJ when he's in his prime. I mean, Wade and Bosh in Miami, AD in LA. Anyway, after he left the Cavaliers, he went to the Celtics, and in his lone playoff year with them, I'll never forget what Giannis said of that Kyrie-led team. If you're wondering what he said, it was, "Against Boston, you can be down 1-0 and still be fine." Anyway, after Kyrie left the Celtics, he went to the Nets, and what happened in those 3 years? He won one playoff series, drove out James Harden, and created a messy situation with the Nets owner Joe Tsai. All in all, the Warriors shouldn't be worried at all about the Kyrie trade to the Mavericks because it doesn't change anything. If the two teams were to meet in the playoffs, the Warriors would gentlemen sweep them just like last year. Anyway, next up, let's move on to the Lakers. In a three-way trade that involved the Lakers, Timberwolves, and the Jazz, the Purple and the Gold traded away Westbrook, JTA, Damian Jones, and a few picks for DAngelo Russell, Malik Beasley, and Jared Vanderbilt. Well, first things first. The Lakers just got embarrassed by the OKC Thunder on LeBron's big night and are in the 13th seed at the moment? But with this trade, I'm going to go ahead and say it. The Los Angeles Lakers are going to make the playoffs this year. This trade made their starting five a bit better and their bench a lot better. The Lakers may have lost out on getting Kyrie, but just from looking at the numbers, D'Lo is arguably the second best player they could have got that fits their team. I mean, D'Angelo is having his most efficient shooting year in his career, and looking at his numbers, he's just one step below the elusive 50-40-90 club. Shooting is exactly what the Lakers need, and it's clear that he fits the team better than Westbrook. All the Lakers have to do is to keep secrets away from him, lest he records it and uploads it to the internet again. Okay, I'm just kidding about that. Anyway, then when it comes to the bench, Malik Beasley and Vanderbilt are a huge reason why the Timberwolves had the success they had last season in 2021 when they almost beat the Grizzlies in the first round. Shooting and youth is what Rob Pelinka just added next to LeBron and AD, and in my opinion, they're gonna be scary. How does this impact the Warriors though? Well, against a fully healthy Warriors team in a best of 7, they'd probably be able to get it to Game 6, but that's about it. They're good, I'm not discounting that, but the Warriors, when they're clicking, are on a whole nother level, and I don't see the Lakers dethroning the defending champs. This would be an amazing series to watch though. I mean, stars on both teams, the history of LeBron versus the Warriors, sheesh. Anyway, it's time to move on to the elephant in the room. Honestly, I was just about to go to sleep, but when I saw that Kevin Durant and TJ Warren got traded for Mikal Bridges, Cam Johnson, Jay Crowder, and a bunch of picks, I knew there was work to be done. I actually didn't see this trade coming, and I don't think anybody did. There wasn't much buzz in the news, and in fact, the Nets kept on saying they wanted to keep Durant. But hey, that's NBA organizations for you. Anyway, the Suns now have CP3, Booker, Ayton, and Durant. On paper, that looks like a beast of a team. Then, in addition, they also got TJ Warren, who dropped a 50 game once upon a time in the bubble. This team is going to be quite a juggernaut. I mean, CP3 must be ecstatic because just when he thought his championship window was closing with the way the Suns have been trending this year, they add Kevin Durant, KD, one of the best scorers in NBA history, the guy who only wants to hoop without any drama. But just before I get into how this will affect the Warriors, I wonder, I'm not saying they're going to win a championship, but if they do, will Charles Barkley and Shaquille O'Neal still call him a bus rider? Anyway, what does this mean for the Warriors and the rest of the Western Conference? Well, one thing is for sure, it's not a team you're going to want to see in the first round of the playoffs. But hey, there is a silver lining for the Warriors. Actually, there's two. First off, if Wiseman could learn how to be like Ayton, then that changes absolutely everything. Because with a healthy starting five in the Warriors' depth, they're still lethal. And until the end of this year, the Warriors are still the defending champions with two of the best shooters in NBA history. Second, Chris Paul is going to be 38 in the playoffs. Devin Booker is coming off a groin injury, and then KD himself is coming off a knee injury. There's a lot of fragile pieces, and with 1/3 of the regular season left to play and the intenseness of the playoffs, I'm not too sure I'd bet on them just yet, especially since we haven't seen this team put it together yet. Anyway, this is how I see the Western Conference playing out this year for Golden State. This is the standings as of today. Let's say that 1 through 6 stays the same, but the Warriors nab the 7th seed and the Lakers nab the 8th seed. Well, for the Warriors, facing off against Memphis in the first round is like winning the lottery. I'd say they'd mop the floor again with the Grizzlies and win in 6, and after that, there's really no more chatter, no more rivalries, no nothing. Then in the second round, it's going to be Sacramento or the Clippers. Either team is winnable. The Clippers might be slightly more difficult than the Kings, but the Warriors should be able to win this second round. Then when it comes to the Western Conference Finals, well, if Durant and the Suns stay in 5th, they're going to have to run through Luka in the first round, and Luka could have another Luka special in store for them, but let's say the Suns get past the Mavericks, then they'd have to go up against a fully healthy Denver squad that is likely going to have a 3-time reigning MVP. I see that series going 7 games, and honestly, whichever team that comes out of that war is going to be so battered up that they won't be able to handle the pace of the Warriors. In conclusion, the Warriors' road to getting to the finals may look like it's gotten harder, but honestly, things are still looking great for them. What do you think about all this? With all this trade stuff that just happened, how do you see this affecting Steph Curry and the group of the guys in the Bay Area?